Hey everybody. This has been a weird few years, months, I don't know anymore. It doesn't matter because we have been under quarantine. Or is that word gonna get me demonetized? I don't know. I don't even care about monetization. I'm not even monetized. I don't have enough viewers anymore. It doesn't matter. I wanted to make this video to talk about something weird and some things weird that have been making me happy during this quarantine, that have been giving me some form of normalcy during it all. And I'm gonna be honest, this has been a very tough part of my life, and this whole year has just been a fucking disaster, and I hate it. And I know you feel the same way, unless you're one of those people that everything's positive and everything's gonna get better. And trust me, I wish I were you. No hate, but I'm really not. It's been tough on everyone, and I'm not trying to, preach or say my life is harder than anyone else. I've been very, very lucky. The fact that I've been very busy for the most part during this entire quarantine. The one industry, I guess, that hasn't been affected too much by Corona has been the video production and YouTube space. That's been kind of the one of the few places rather, that has been kind of growing during all of this, because people are at home, people are more bored, people are not able to go outside. That's a terrible, terrible thing, but at least me and a lot of people that I work with can help entertain you. So during the beginning of quarantine, it was very busy because we started off, I was working with Twitch rather, and we kind of realized that, people are at home and they want content. So we started to kind of churn out videos, and my workload kind of grew, and that was welcomed because, I was home, and that was a weird feeling, being away from friends, being away from people that I really love, that I was just getting to know, just really getting to understand and grow with. During that time of working, that kind of helped me stay away from the bad thoughts, right? Helped me stop thinking about the craziness in the world. And then I would say 2 months in, probably around 2 months in, around April, things started to kind of fall apart. I was just having breakdowns, and my mental fortitude was just falling apart. But specifically during this quarantine, I've been doing a lot of doom scrolling. That's what the kids are calling it. They're calling it doom scrolling. And which is, if you don't know, basically scrolling through your timeline and just scrolling, and things are worse. I want to see them get worse, or I want to see something good, or I want to see that one thing that'll make me happy, or that one thing that excites me or gives me a rush. And I started to do that more and more and more, especially during, the first few months of quarantine, where it was even unsafe to see, my significant other and see friends. And, I was even scared to socially distance or go to a freaking grocery store. Hell, I'm still fucking frightened to go to a grocery store, but we make do. We all go outside, and we figure it out, and we try to be safe about it. And as the months progressed, things started to get worse. And I think that's because of social media. I think that has a huge part to play in it, because that was the only way that I was experiencing connection, really, and it still is one of the only few ways that I experience connection right now from the outside world. I've always been someone that uses social media heavily. It's been the way that I've gotten jobs. It's been the way that I've communicated with people, grown, gained friends, and lifelong people that I call brothers right now. So it's been a very positive experience in my life, but this few months have been extraordinarily negative when it comes to it. As those months went on, I started to realize, and I kind of had an epiphany the other day, and that's TikTok fucking rocks. TikTok is the best social media platform there is right now. And there's been a lot of things that have been keeping me company during quarantine, that have been making me happy, give me those little pieces of light at the end of the tunnel. Because let's break down what social media is. Social media is a platform, or platforms rather, where you connect and you communicate with human beings. And you get news, and you get updates, and you learn things about people. But more and more, I find the Twitters and Instagrams and Facebooks, oh, fucking Christ, Facebook, to just be so destructive, right? I can just break it down. Twitter is, for me at least, it's different for a lot of people, but for me, I use Twitter as kind of the CNN, right? It is the news update. It is the thing that I learned about all the terrible tragedies that have been going on this year. It is the first thing I look at when I wake up, right? It is like the morning newspaper, but fucking 10 times worse without Sudoku or crossword puzzles. God, I wish there was a crossword puzzle break during the middle of Twitter. Wouldn't that be amazing? But yeah, it sucks. But I use it every day because my career kind of is entangled with it. It is where I have my friends. It's where I communicate with a lot of people. And I kind of find myself watching a lot of Twitter on my computer and then looking at it on my phone and then looking out on computer and then just going through this terrible cycle of like scrolling through the same fucking 30 tweets of people that I really don't need to see updates on, but I do anyway, hoping and wishing for something new. I know that got dark, but it's the truth. And we're going to get dark a little bit here, but stick with me. Instagram for me at least is the viewpoint into mostly people that I went to high school with and famous celebrities. There's no in between. There's no people that I sort of know, sort of don't know. It's mostly like, okay, people you went to high school with and fucking Jordan Wood, right? That's it. I would go to Twitter and be like, fuck, I need a break. Instead of going for a walk, I would go, fuck it, Instagram. Yeah, let's has the fun little gradient logo. Let's go there, right? Let's go to Instagram. Run over to Instagram, and all I see is fucking dickwads that failed English in my high school, talking about how George Floyd's murder was justified and how we gotta take the red pill. There's no in between. I'm telling you, that was it. And it was that. And then sometimes I would go from Twitter to terribleness and from shitty memes sprinkled in. And then I'd go to Instagram and there were the shitty stale memes that I saw from Twitter 3 weeks ago coming over to Instagram. Those things are very interconnected with human beings. It is news. It is what's going on in the world. It is what's present. It is what is happening at all times. It's people you know, mostly, right? Sometimes people just follow celebrities, but mostly it's like people you know, dudes you went to high school with, dudes you went to college with. Like it's really intertwined with who you are. TikTok is the fucking escape that social media should be. And I mean this in the nicest and most sincere way possible. This isn't a bit. TikTok is like truly been my savior in terms of social media this entire year. It has been the thing that I go to and I laugh. I truly laugh. I don't do a side, you're scrolling through Twitter and you're like, fuck, man. Then you send it to like 5 different people, that one okay tweet. So then they do the same thing and then they, scroll through and they find a shitty tweet and then they send it to you and yada, yada, yada. So it's not that. TikTok for me is like laugh out loud laughter, like shit that I fucking send to people that I actually like cry in real life, like to my brother, like, dude, you need to see this. And the comedy aspect of it for sure. There is like, it's kind of like Vine in that sense, right? Where Vine was kind of filled with comedy. It was filled from wall to wall comedy and it would be so fast and so short, sometimes so clever and you wouldn't expect it. So sometimes you get like kind of like the same bullshit on Vine and everything, same thing as you do as TikTok, but then you get that thing that just like throws everything out the window. It's just so hilarious and you can't put your finger on why. And that's great. That's amazing. There's a lot of TikToks like that and that's the TikToks that I love. But the algorithm of TikTok is so interesting because it has completely meshed with how I'm feeling on the inside. But I have not felt so seen on an app with a bunch of strangers that I don't know anything about ever. Twitter is a bunch of people trying to save face. That is better and worse. I do it all the time. This is all about me too. Tries to project the best version of yourself or, the okay broken down version of yourself, right? Like for the joke. Instagram is, you're literally trying to put the best version of yourself, you with your girl, you with your mom, smiling, everything's good, right? TikTok is where shit gets fucked up. And I think that's because of the Gen Z humor. Gen Z humor is very dark. And I think that's the only way that we can kind of laugh at ourselves and laugh at our situation is by, and I think that's the only way why, Gen Zers, I guess me, can get through shit because things are so dark. It's almost like we have to laugh at it. We have to laugh at our situation. We have to laugh at what's going on. But I think it's so interesting that these random people that I've never met in my life, that I never would have seen on Twitter or Instagram, are making memes that hit so deep at home that really just gut me and not make me sad. They make me happy to be seen. And that is what I feel like social media should be, right? Social media should be a platform to connect people, to truly connect people, to feel seen, to understand each other, to meet in the middle. And with such a time of fucking divisiveness where, I go on Twitter and I see people killing each other, people killing themselves, people hating each other for their beliefs. There's no middle. There's no middle. And if you're a middle, you're fucking centrist and you should fucking die. There's no middle ground on Twitter. There's no conversation because no one feels like there's a safe space to understand each other. And of course, there's some people that need to be fucking dragged on social media. Trust me. I know. I go on Instagram and I see people that I liked in high school, people that I would dap up in the hallways and fuck around with, posting things about how Black lives don't matter, how George Floyd should have been murdered, how he was a drug addict, shit that just makes me fucking question everyone around me, right? Question everyone I went to school with, everyone that I talked to. TikTok makes me feel seen. These videos, these dumb fucking videos, have heart to them. Whether it's someone laughing at a tragic moment in their life or someone expressing a very simple and minute thing that they do every day that is so utterly relatable to the point where it makes you kind of think about what you're doing and also feel kind of safe. Safe that you're not a weirdo. Safe that your life is not going down the gutter. Safe that you're not going fucking crazy and you are not the worst person on earth because, hey, thousands and thousands of people liked and commented on that and they've gone through that exact little minuscule thing. It reminds me of almost like those micro impressions that guy did of like little things that like actors do, or it's like his impression of like Robert De Niro tasting a good sandwich, like, you know what I mean? Like, and you can tell it's Robert De Niro, right? But with these TikToks, it's like little things that are so deeply relatable that people don't want to talk about, whether it's like mental illness or the fear of losing a family member or a significant other. And we all can kind of bond over it, even if you're not making those content. Hell, probably never going to make TikToks. I shouldn't say never, but I probably won't make TikToks. But boy, seeing those big ass numbers of like 400,000 people liking a TikTok about moving your clothes from one place to another in a depressed state really fucking hits home. And I think it's important. And we can talk all day about the political aspect of, the China's government and TikTok. I'm not here to talk about that. But all I'm here to say is that TikTok has been a really big saving grace for me during this quarantine. It's been really important for me, and that plus lots of great games like Hades and Fall Guys have been also really amazing. But for me, TikTok has been the thing to kind of help me out. And next time I'm thinking about doom scrolling through Twitter at 5 a.m., maybe I should just turn to TikTok and have a smile, feel seen, and go to fuck to bed.